Hüseyin Nihâl Atsız was a prominent Turkish nationalist writer, novelist, poet and philosopher. Nihal Atsız was a fervent supporter of the pan-Turkist Turanist ideology. He is author of over 30 books and numerous articles. He was in strong opposition to the government of İsmet İnönü, which he criticized for cooperating with the communists. He was accused of plotting to overthrow the government. Politics. Nihal Atsız was an important ideologue who lived during the early years of the Republic of Turkey. His circle attacked Ataturk's leadership, condemned Turkey's foreign policy, and particularly the appeasement policy vis-à-vis the Soviet Union. Most importantly, his supporters ridiculed Kemalist attempts at building a civic nation model in the early Republican era. However, he also praised Ataturk. He was foremost known for his nationalist views, his active campaign against Turkish communists, and his embracing of Tengristic ancient Turkish traditions. He was among the authors that influenced a type of Turkish nationalism known as Ülkücü movement, a nationalist movement later associated to Alparslan Turks. Kemalism, which had been condemned so harshly in his novel Dalkavuk Legacy, is the founding ideology of the Republic of Turkey. The nature and the type of Kemalist nationalism during the early Republican period had since 1923 have interpreted Turkish identity under the guiding light of constitutional principles which equated Turkishness with being a Turkish citizen, identifying all Turkish citizens as Turks proper. The three constitutions of the Republican era were completely and positively blind to ethnic, religious and linguistic differences between Turkish citizens and disassociated Turkishness from its popular meaning, that is, the name of an ethnic group. Supporters of this view argue that Republican statesmen rejected the German model of ethnic nationalism and emulated the French model of civic nationalism by reducing Turkishness to a legal category only. In other words, citizens of Turkey who happen to be of Kurdish, Greek, Armenian, Jewish or Assyrian descent had only to accept a plebiscite. According to this view, to take advantage of the opportunity of Turkification, as far as the citizenship state was concerned, and gaining full equality with ethnic Turks, provided that they remained faithful to the side of the bargain. Atsız worked on pan-Turkism as an ideologue and activist but never joined any party or political group because he considered politics to be a way to corruption. He and his comrades published several pan-Turkist magazines such as Öztürk'ün, Yeni Hayat and Orkun. He wrote strong articles which criticized the government of İsmet İnönü and his alleged tolerance of communism in the country. In 1934, he had written that the Jew was among the internal enemies of Turkey, but in 1947, he praised the Jewish people for setting an example of strong nationalism. Indeed, the Jews managed to get back the land they had lost 2,000 years ago and to revive Hebrew, which has remained only in the books, and turn into a spoken language. Literary work. Atsız majored in history of literature and published several academic essays about Ottoman literature and history. His essays about history are gathered and published as a book under the name of Türk Tarihi Mesela. He served as a literature teacher for a number of years. Atsız is also an important novelist and poet. His historical epic novel Bozkurtların Ölümü is one of the most popular historical novels in Turkish literature. The book concerns the last days of the First Göktürk Empire and the impossible rebellion of Prince Kursad and his 40 warriors against the Chinese invaders. Its sequel Bozkurtlar tells the story of Urungu and the beginning of the Second Göktürk Empire. His third novel, Deli Kurt, is about the mystic romance between a Sipahi warrior and a mysterious shamanist nomad woman in the early Ottoman Empire. His last novel, Ruh Adam, is quite a complex psychological novel. The book has a spiritual and mystical atmosphere, full with surrealistic, allegorical figures such as Yek and Lieutenant Serif. It has a complex story, which is generally about the forbidden platonic love affair between an alcoholic ex-army officer and a diabolical, mysterious young high school student. The plot develops on the reincarnation of two lovers, which was a warrior banned from the army because of his love to the girl was greater than his love to his country in ancient nomad times. Atsız wrote one satirical political comedy about Inonu government in the 1940s, Z Vitamini, which was about a fictional special vitamin which gives immortality to the dictator and his government. A famous politicized novel of his was Dalkavukligesi, a historical allegory and critique of Kemalism. It tells the story of political corruption during the Hittite era, but actually referring to the injustices and arbitrariness of Ataturk's rule. During the early 1930s, his poems are in the style of pre-Islamic literature, and his common themes are idealism, honor, forbidden love, war and history. His complete poetic works have been published under the name of Yola and Sonu. Personal life. Nihal Atsız was born on January 12, 1905 at Kasimpasa, Istanbul. His father was Navy Commander Mehmet Nail Bey, from Siftçioglu family of Tural, Gümüşhane, and his mother was Fatma Zehra, daughter of Navy Commander Osman Fevzi Bey, from Kadioglu family of Trabzon. Nihal Atsız had two sons from his second wife Bedriye Atsız. Jagma Atsız, a left-wing journalist and writer and professor. Dr. Bugra Atsız, academician and nationalist writer. He also had a daughter, Kariye Atsız. Atsız also had a younger brother, Necdet Sankar, also a notable writer and publicist. Atsız dedicated his entire life to his children and especially to his most beloved granddaughter Mavis Atsız. Nihal Atsız was remembered by his granddaughter as a kind and gentle person with children. His legacy. 19 young academicians and authors have assembled under a nationalist association. Sayabaz Culture ve Sanat Platformu published a book on him. Vaktialba Atsız Varmus consisted of articles and comparative studies on his works, life and views. Political groups. In Turkey in 2012 a nationalist group calling itself Genç Atsızlar emerged, participating in anti-Armenian demonstrations in Istanbul, carrying banners stating, "You are all Armenians, you are all bastards," in response to the slogan, "We are all Rundink, we are all Armenians." In February 2015, in response to the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide, anti-Armenian banners of Genç Atsızlar appeared in cities around Turkey, including banners in Istanbul condemning the Kojali genocide, and a banner in Mugla proclaiming, "We celebrate the 100th anniversary of our country being cleared of Armenians." Works, novels. Dalkavukligesi, Istanbul 1941. ISBN 978-975-437-804-7. Bozkurtlar Anadolu, Istanbul 1946. ISBN 978-975-437-809. Bozkurtlar Diriliyor, Istanbul 1949. ISBN 978-975-437-809. Deli Kurt, Istanbul 1958. ISBN 978-975-437-801-6. Z Vitamini, Istanbul 1959. ISBN 978-975-437-804-7. Ruadım, Istanbul 1972. ISBN 978-975-437-802-3. Stories, Donasız, in Atsız Memur, Say 2, Orhan, Say 10. Sahidler and Duazi, in Atsız Memur, Say 3, Orhan, Say 12. Erkekiz in Atsız Memur Say 4. İkion Basi Galicia. 1917. In Atsız Memur Say 6. In Aralti Say 67. Ertuğrul Say 30. Herkajan Misali, Bozdergan ve Sari Yilan in Ertuğrul Say 28. Poem Yolların Sonuz Istanbul 1946. ISBN 978-975-437-806-1. Other works: Divanı Türkçe Basit, Grammar ve Lugati, Graduating Thesis, Institute of Turkology, No. 82, 111 pages. Sarbasi Nasevap, Istanbul, 1933. Kanakaliye Euruyüz, Istanbul, 1933. Exvinciasyalarından edilen elin nazminant isiri ve bu esran Türk dili ve kültürü bakiminden ahemiyeti, Istanbul, 1934. Komünist Don Kişi Proletaburcu ve Nazim Hikmetov Yıldası, Istanbul, 1935. Türk Tarihi Üzerin Toplamalar I. Bölüm, Istanbul, 1935. Exvinciasya Tarihi Sukrala 9 Boyturkla ve Osmanlı Sultanları Tarihi, Istanbul, 1939. Munich Shombasi Seyh Ahmed Efendi Hayati ve Eserleri, Istanbul, 1940. 900. Yıldönümü, Istanbul, 1940. İsimizdeki Şeytanlar, Istanbul, 1940. Türk Edebiyatı Tarihi, Istanbul, 1940. And Sinsitelik, Istanbul, 1943. Hesap Boyverlier, Istanbul, 1943. Türkiye Asla Boyunamayacaktır, Istanbul, 1943. Osmanlı Tarihleri Istanbul, 1949. Türk Ülkesi, Istanbul, 1956. Osman Teveri Cedi Mira İsahan, Istanbul, 1961. Osmanlı Tarihine 8 Takvimleri, Istanbul, 1961. Ordinary Eserin Fahiz Yanlileri, Istanbul, 1961. Türk Tarihind Meseleler, Ankara, 1966. Burguli Mehmet Efendi Bibliografyası, Istanbul, 1966. İstanbul Kütüphanelerin Başyurt Bibliografyası, Istanbul, 1967. Ali Bibliografyası, Istanbul, 1968. Aşık Pasaraglu Tarihi, Istanbul, 1970. Evliya Çelebi Seyahat Name Signed and Sekmeleri, Istanbul, 1971. Evliya Çelebi Seyahat Name Signed and Sekmeler 2, Istanbul, 1972. Arukbeg Tarihi, Istanbul, 1973.